This home for sale sits on one of the largest lots you can have in a master plan community in Liberty Hill, Texas. Stay tuned for this walkthrough. Hey everyone, Raj Sahu here. I'm a realtor in Central Texas, but you shouldn't always use me as a realtor. More on that a little bit later. Today we're walking through the 214G plan with Highland Homes. This plan is over 2,800 square feet. It has 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, has a 3-car garage, and is a sprawling 1-story plan on a 90-foot wide lot in a master plan community called Santa Rita Ranch. We'll get into the community a little bit later, focusing in on the plan. When you first walk in, I love the tall ceilings that they have in here, and even when you walk in through the front door, you can see right out through those sliding glass doors that are bringing in a lot of natural light. Walking right out to the main living area, we have the dining area on the right side that has that hutch and the cabinetry that we'll get back to in a second. But the kitchen is fantastic. You're greeted with this huge kitchen island, very tall ceilings in here as well. And we're gonna focus right in on the kitchen, which I think is the focal point of this home. It's right in the center and everything seems to revolve around it, and that's why we'll start right here. From a design standpoint, I love what they did here with the 2-tone cabinets. So you have the dark kitchen island, you have the exterior cabinets all white with the under cabinet lighting. It makes it very light and bright, and then your eyes just want to go upward along that vent hood that goes all the way to the ceiling. And I can't give dimensions in these videos because builders don't like that, especially if people are watching this in the future and these plans can change over time. But if you take a look at that vent hood, it goes even beyond the upper cabinets that are in here. I mean, there are homes that can't even fit upper cabinets because the ceiling is too tight, but here you have lots of ceiling height, lots of room for upper cabinets, and even that backsplash going all the way up to the ceiling as well. And then below the vent hood, we have a large 6-burner gas stove. We have behind us a single basin sink with a monogram dishwasher, and I believe most of the appliances are monogram, but I can look back through the list. And also, this is a home for sale, so keep in mind what you're seeing is what you're also buying. This home is for sale at $995,000, and we are in a 90-foot wide lot section of Santa Rita Ranch. This is one of the largest sections in this community. So while we look through this spacious pantry that wraps around the corner here, I do want to mention the upgrades you see in here are maybe not as typical what we see across all homes in various lot sizes. This being one of the largest lot sections, they tend to put a little bit more in upgrades than what they usually do. Like, I don't typically see that upgraded of an appliance package or extended cabinetry here in the dining room on the right side, which they call a hutch. Different things that they do in a 90-foot wide lot section that tend to be just a little bit beyond the average, just because for this buyer they're expecting a little bit more, especially on this large of a lot. Focusing back on the plan, that was the dining area. So this is a pretty unique plan where when you walk in, you have the dining area on the right side, kitchen on the left side, you have the living room on the back of the home, and you have an entertainment room here right next to the main living area. You do have double doors going into this entertainment room, so you can certainly enclose it. As you can tell by the caps on the walls, they've done a lot of pre-wiring already in this media room, so it is set up for a theater experience. Like, you can see a cap on the ceiling there. I believe that's to run wiring all the way down to this side. Now, if you are struggling to visualize this space, no worries. There is another model home with Highland, a little bit less in square footage, called the Canterbury plan. I'll put in the description of this video, and that Canterbury plan has a very similar media room right off of that main living area, fairly similar size, and you can see it's fully staged out as a model home. Getting over to the living room, as you'll see next to the fireplace, they already have electrical up top, so you can hang a TV there. You have lots of lighting in here, and as always, tall ceilings, which you'll see throughout the plan, and that's why I think even at this square footage, it still feels a lot bigger than the actual number of just being over 2,800 square feet. Now on the floor, that was a floor outlet, so perfect to put a recliner here. And by the way, if you are looking at building this home from scratch, this plan, right now the fireplace was an upgrade. There's a powder bathroom at the front of the home we'll see that's also currently a structural upgrade. So I think if you took out that fireplace, you might get a little bit more room in that living room. And if you really want a fireplace, as you can tell here, you can possibly have it on the outdoor area in your patio. And this also has electrical up top to hang a TV, so you can really enjoy this outdoor area And then this is a very large backyard. When we look at master plan communities, keep in mind a lot of these developers, when they paid for the land, it is a little bit more expensive than years ago where there weren't that many people moving to Texas. There was lots of land for sale. Now with the land a little bit more expensive, builders have to build more homes in these areas. And that means, generally speaking, tighter backyards. And that's why I like walking homes like this. I do think it's a unique opportunity where you're not going to see as many large lots like this in the future, and it could be a unique value proposition for future resale, but also just great for livability right now in a community like this called Santa Rita Ranch. Now, while we're walking through the primary bedroom and bathroom, I'll just mention quickly, Santa Rita Ranch is a master plan community. They're building around 10,000 homes in this area. So there's lots of builders, lots of options. But what I think most people say they love about the community is how lively and active it is. You can have a lot of fun just within your home. You can get big backyards like this, but you can also just walk out your door and there are multiple amenity centers. A lot of people are out and about, especially when the weather's like this and it's beautiful. And for those people that are looking for that combination, great homes, big lots, but also a lot of activity in their community, I think that this is one of the top options that's out there. Getting back into the plan, we are in the primary bedroom. You saw that box window before, which I think was great, really opens up that space, and it's very large. We have a primary bathroom where we have 2 vanities on the right side with the cabinets all along the wall. We have a freestanding tub on the left side. And from a design standpoint, I like what they did here. Solid dark color on the floor. Then they have a wall tile that has some movement in it, and that dark floor tile is pulling out the dark veins in that wall tile. And that's something that I've learned from designers after visiting many different design studios with builders, is just some basics that they always talk about. Sometimes when you look through a design studio, if you're building a home like this from scratch, it's easy to fall in love with like a tile that we see here on the wall. And then you find a tile similar to that has all this great movement in it, and you put that on the floor. And then you find this beautiful countertop that has all these veins in it, and you put that on the countertop. And then you have a bathroom that has all this movement in it in various materials, and they're all kind of competing with each other. They tend to clash. And so what I always find designers say is find some solid colors, mix them with a color that has a little bit more movement if that's what you're looking for, and just make sure that they flow together. And if you are looking to build from scratch, sometimes it can be a very daunting task, but I will tell you there are great designers with every builder, especially Highland, where they have good options at their design studio. And if this is something that feels a little bit overwhelming to you, building your home from scratch, picking all your options, lean in on the designer. It's the cost for that designer is usually already baked into the price of the home, so you might as well lean in and get advice from somebody who does this all day long professionally. Getting back to the plan, we're in the primary closet. As you can see there is a doorway that leads to the utility room. We'll come back around to that utility room, but of course that doorway is there so you don't have to lug your laundry through your home to get to the utility room. You can just go through that doorway right from the primary closet, which is great. And that utility room is tucked in right behind the kitchen, but we'll first go to the other bedroom that's on the back side of the home. So what I like about this plan, it's a 1-story plan where you get a lot of privacy between rooms, but everything is still very open concept. In the middle, where you have the main living area, you have the entertainment media room that we saw previously. And this is what I mean. Here is one of the bedrooms in the back of the home. You have some windows that look out to that big backyard. If I didn't mention it previously too, that that home behind us is under construction. This home, is complete, but obviously not sold yet. So once it's sold, you can usually plant some trees in the backyard if you are looking for a little bit more privacy. You just have to make sure that whatever you plant abides by what the HOA allows. So that's something to look into after you buy the home and close. Now for this home, they do have a Jack and Jill full bathroom that's accessible from the hallway here. You have a bathtub on this side and then a commode to the left of it. But I'm going to come back around to this area instead of going through the Jack and Jill full bathroom. And I want to show you where that bedroom is accessible. Well, I think they did this just kind of like a washroom and accessible like from the main living area, is the powder bathrooms all the way at the front of the home. So there is a separate powder bath that if you want guests to use, they can use that. But if people are in the backyard, maybe you put a pool back here and they need quick access to a bathroom, that's why I think they have this bathroom here accessible from the hallway, or at least half of the bathroom, and a commode and a bathtub inside. So this is going to be the other bedroom that is accessible from that Jack and Jill full bathroom. As we continue to say, very tall ceilings in here. You have a window that actually looks out to the side yard, which I'll show you in a second. But first, this is that Jack and Jill full bathroom. And this is that same vanity that we saw from the bathtub and commode area. So if I go back out through here, this would be the other sink that would lead to that back patio area or that other bedroom that we saw at the back of the home. And then each of these bedrooms has a pretty good sized walk-in closet. It's not very typical to see at this square footage, you know, just under 2,900 square feet, but decent size, I would say. But the backyard, I think, is the biggest part. So even the side yard, which we'll see here, is very large. That's going to actually be your separate one-car carriage garage, which is street facing, and then you have a 2-car garage that is side facing. And speaking of that garage, this would be the door to access that garage, which we'll pop into in a second. But before we do, we have a mud bench and an area to put some, backpacks or bags right next to your garage entrance. Now, this is going to be the 2-car garage that's side facing. There is a little bit of storage in this area, but that's a water softener loop. So eventually, if you do put it in a water softener after closing, that would take up that room. But there's still some good storage areas in various parts of this garage. But chances are, if you don't have 3 cars, then you could use this 1-car garage as that separate storage area for bikes or whatever you want in here. And pretty typical in terms of what we see in a garage space. Like, that's actually a tankless water heater. On the right side was the access for your sprinkler system. So to change up your sprinkler system, which sometimes you have to do when there's a change of seasons, maybe you need to increase it or decrease it, you would just do that there from the 1-car garage. Now, that ladder that you saw down there, that does go up into the ceiling. It's just they usually have that down because there's some sort of HVAC technician or somebody who needs to access the attic that's coming in and out of these homes when it's this close to completion. They're doing some fine tuning and different things like that to get this home ready for closing. Now we're getting back to the front entrance, which you saw the double doors when we first walked in, or on the left side there. If we enter through the front door, on the left side, we have a powder bathroom. And again, they were showing this as a structural upgrade that they did in this home. So if you are building this from scratch, I would consider you doing a powder bathroom in here. I think it tends to be good for resale and not something you want to put in aftermarket and try to add plumbing to a plan. And then for the utility room that we already saw through the closet, this would be a better look at it. So it's kind of tucked in here on the left side. That door on the right side would go to the primary closet. You see some plumbing there, as well as ventilation for a washer and dryer. And this is going to be that primary closet that I was mentioning earlier. Now there is one last bedroom on this side, and then we have a study to go through. This bedroom that we're about to see, which has a coat closet right outside of it, does have an in-suite full bathroom. So while we go through this bedroom and full bathroom, as well as go to the study after this, I did want to clarify something I said at the beginning of the video, which I do tend to say a lot, which is don't always use me as a realtor. And what I meant by that is when people reach out to me, I try to get a feel for their criteria and then connect them with the person that's best for them. Sometimes that's me, sometimes it's somebody else. But either way, I'm always upfront with people when I tell them what's best. And while I look out this window, I realized that my client's actually under contract across the street from here, and then 3 doors down, I have another client that's under contract as well in this 90-foot wide section. And if they're watching, by the way, shout out to them. Very excited to see them close. But I'll tell you exactly what I told them over a year ago, which is when people reach out to me and their criteria fits criteria that I've worked with in the past that I know I can provide a high amount of value to, then I tell them honestly, I think I'm the best agent for them. Here's why. Here's what I've done in the past. Let's work together. If I don't think that that's the case, and I know that there's another realtor doing more volume in a certain area or has more experience in that area, whether that's an investment property or a listing or on the buy side, and it's just something else that I know there's another realtor that's doing much better than me, I'm happy to connect you with that realtor. And that's what I tend to do differently than most realtors, is instead of trying to convince everybody to work with me and focus more on quantity, I'm more focused on quality over quantity and just doing what's best for people. So if that's you, reach out to me. My information's in the description of this video. I'd be happy to work together on your criteria and get you situated. And while we're wrapping up here, we are in the study. I like the built-ins that they did here on the back wall. Let me put on these lights back here. I think that makes a difference, as you can tell, or if you can imagine, books on those shelves, some, different things that you can do there from a design standpoint too. I think this is a great place to work from home. Good windows looking off the front of your home in this big 90-foot wide section of Santa Rita Ranch. From here, I recommend checking out the 242 plan that's on your screen. It's a staged model home with Highland Homes, and I think it's a great walkthrough. And as always, I hope this helps. Take care, everyone.